Like you see how the shots. Like the shots will bounce up and hit the enemies multiple times. So it actually does a lot more damage than it says on the card. And this is the other weapon that we might use to attack Hyperius. It's a bit of a shame that we have two really good sniper rifles and we can only use one at a time. Also, electric is a versatile element. So we have an electric Sandhawk, electric Pimpernel.
You won't find better merchandise anywhere else. I made sure of that.
Both of which come from this DLC. Seems unfair.
Farewell, friend.
Alright, so that's a raid boss, that's a raid boss. So the only thing left is make these lighthouses.
All immorality will be destroyed. Cursing is immoral. A bandit DJ is about to broadcast a stream of profanity from a nearby radio tower. Murder him, violently.
Alright, we're gonna murder people for profanity. Let me put my other good sniper rifle in the storage. I think this one is better. So the trick here is to aim like underneath the enemy's critical hit point, and then the bullets will bounce up into the crit point and wreck the thing, hitting the crit points multiple times.
So,
Yeah, somebody's got to deal with it.
There'll always be something to fight.
What level is this? Is it level 30? 30, okay. Make this lighthouse. There's also a message in the bottle here. But one thing at a time. I'm trying to crit these guys. It doesn't really work against humans because their crit point is so small. Oops. I mean, you see the numbers. Like, I'm hitting them with 2 pallets or so. So that's like 3 pallets. It works better against big enemies, and the good thing is that raid bosses tend to be big enemies. That's just a straight crit. I guess like crowds of enemies are also good. Keep trying to... Oh, he's dead already. I guess I should just straight crit these guys. Not worry about the bonus pellets.
Sucker.
With boar, I think the boar, every time it bores through an enemy, it will spawn the extra pellets. And so imagine if there's like 3 guys standing right in front of each other, you bore through all 3 of them and they all spawn the pellets. It's potentially a lot of damage, very, very fast. But again, it works better against enemies with giant hit points and big hitboxes. Please don't glitch.
Oh, thank God! Something is
I'm gonna ignore those guys, I
If you reach
think.
the treasure before me, which you won't, of course, but just in case, be careful of the Leviathan. It ain't Roscoe, as I may have already mentioned, and Blade's notes say it will die to protect the treasure chamber.
It ate Roscoe. I guess I don't really care about those things. Let me just let them run around. Oh, wait a minute. What's later on? Never mind, never mind. Forward first, and then we go around to get the message in a bottle.
This ain't gonna feel good!
This sniper rifle is also good. Although the other one feels better because it shoots faster. I mean, this one does more damage than it seems to. Like, it's not entirely clear why people die so fast. But it's because of the extra pellets, right? The extra pellets will hit people along the way. Alright, DJ Tanner is back here. In fact, can I see him? I can't see him from there.
WARG, you're listening to DJ Tanner saying that you're all skag-licking, rack-sucking, ass-gobbling schmuck faces, and you can all suck my wing-lay.
That language harms Pandora's children. Murder the DJ at once.
Suck his wangalang. I should not stand here, like, I can get knocked off. AM, FM, IO.
Enjoy that, sucker.
I ain't going down easy!
Slide up, fist of me! Die!
What?
Is he still alive?
It is good you murdered him so that his verbally expressed emotions could not cause others momentary discomfort. Now please blow him off his studio.
For you!
And then blow up his studio. I mean, these guys are making fun of censorship. Yeah, I think it's a bunch of libertarian dude bros who made this DLC. Or maybe they think the players are libertarian dude bros and they're trying to appeal. Who even knows? It's just not funny. It's just like the story, the plot and the dialogue, it's just not funny. It just seems like... It just seems ignorant. And by ignorant, I mean, look, I keep going back to the character of Handsome Jack and how well designed that character is. Because Handsome Jack resembles a real abusive psychopathic person. Like, he resembles a person who really is a murdering psychopath, right? Like, he projects his own insecurities on others, and he kills people for no reason, and like the hypocrisy and the projection and the, you know, like, he calls you a bandit, and he says he's bringing order when in fact he's the one who's bringing the disorder, killing the civilians, killing children. He calls you a child killer when in fact he's the one who kills women and children, and he is the one who kind of locked up his own daughter. So like the lack of self-awareness and the projection, like, psychologically it's so interesting, because that's how people are. That's how real bad people are. Whereas everything in this DLC, it's like a caricature of a thing that doesn't actually exist. Like the censor bot is like, okay, you're making fun of censorship, but that's not what people who ask for censorship actually say when they ask for, like, it's a miscaricature. Whereas Jack is a real villain. But it's not real, but it's like it's a villain that resembles real villains.
The world is now a better place. Return to me for your reward.
Whereas the censor bot is like, go murder people who are saying bad things. That's not what people who ask for censorship actually say. Like, that's not what they do. It's not like it's a parody of a thing that doesn't exist. Also, how does this thing stay in midair and not fall down? So like the character of Handsome Jack and Tannis as well. Tannis is like, you know, socially maladjusted and tortured, and like she's disassociating her own torture and saying that the ceiling chairs got cut up. Like, that's how human minds, like, it's those characters and those stories are written by people who actually understand real psychology, right? They're people who understand real psychology, whereas the characters and the stories in this DLC are written by people who don't understand real things. Anyway, we're almost done. A few more quests and then we're done. Like, sometimes when someone tells a joke, it reveals their own ignorance more than it says anything funny. That does happen sometimes. We haven't been back here before. This is like the back door behind the lighthouse. Find the treasure is on the other side. I think we have to go back down again. Oh, I remember this one. No, get off. This one is inside one of these buildings. Or back here. It's somewhere. Oh, nuts. Oh, it's not. Oh, it's up there. Never mind. Never mind. My bad. It's up on top of the lighthouse. I remember now. And you can't get to it except by jumping off the lighthouse, if I remember right.
Ready for a butt.
Maybe I should use this more. Maybe I shouldn't use that. Be careful with this. Ow. You know, thinking about the Mr. Bubbles and like the Easter egg, the Bioshock Easter egg. You know, some people who play Bioshock don't understand that it's actually a criticism of objectivism and free markets. Like, it doesn't realize that it's a critique of what Andrew Ryan says. Like, they play Bioshock, some people, they play Bioshock and they're like, oh, it's amazing. Andrew Ryan is amazing, he goes down into the bottom of the ocean, he builds his own city, and everything's Bioshock is amazing. And they don't realize, no, the story is about how Rapture failed as a city and as a society. It's not a celebration of objectivism. It's a criticism of objectivism.
The Leviathan knows how close we are to finding the treasure, and he sounds rather miffed. Pretty awesome, right?
Because Rapture failed. Rapture fell apart in a civil war between Fontaine and Ryan. That's the story. And the story about Andrew Ryan is about how when he became the king of his own city, he acted just the same way as all the people he criticized. Like, he criticized people for trying to nationalize his forest, he criticized, you know, governments and religion. But then when push came to shove, he nationalized Fontaine Industries and took it for himself. Right? Like, he does the exact same thing that he criticized other people for doing. That's what Bioshock is about. So that's a whole different tangent. But the people who don't realize, like, some people play Bioshock as like, this is what amazing things a person can do without governments and without rules. That's not what the story is about. The story is about how Andrew Ryan, after he built his own city, he became the very government that he hates. That's the story. Like, some people play Bioshock and they completely miss the point. And those are the kind of people, I feel like, who made this DLC. It's a bit of a stretch. It is a bit of a stretch. It's speculation, I know that. But the utter obliviousness and the, like, conflating ignorance with cleverness, and the fact that, like, all the characters and all the parody in the DLC don't really make any sense, or they don't resemble real people, or they don't actually parody real people. They parody stereotypes. They don't parody real people. Like, the Cincerbot is a stereotype, and like Herbert is a stereotype, and Shade is a beta, but people like Shade don't really exist in the real world. I mean, some people
You're at the
will.
top of the lighthouse? Lovely! Just find somewhere to place Blade's compass, and we'll find out exactly where the treasure is buried.
Some people, if they want your money, or if they want something from you, they will kiss your ass. Some people will do that. But they don't do that because they enjoy kissing your ass, it's because they want stuff from you. And so the notion of, you know, beta, or people who are subservient to others, it's not real. It's not a real thing. People serve others in exchange for things. They don't serve others because they like serving others. That never happens. Some people are willing to serve others in exchange for money or power or whatever it is.
Is it working? What's happening? You did it! It looks like the treasure's buried in worm water. I'll meet you out there.
Also, the X is on a rock, and you can't get on the rock except by dropping down onto it from above. Here,